Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mahmoud. I'm from Egypt, Alexandria University, and this is my friend.
Hello, my name is Shazwan Izzati from Malaysia.
I am Diane from ITB. My name is Amalia from Indonesia, ITB.
My name is Amisha Maiti. You can call me Gupta and come from Thailand.
Okay, our topic today is Furuleta. Is a drug for non-metastatic castration-resistant prostate cancer. Anyone knows this disease? Okay, I will tell you. Non-metastatic means that the cancer didn't spread all over the body because it didn't enter the bloodstream. This is the main cause for metastatic. So this disease is not metastatic, so it cannot go to the bone, kidney, liver, brain, not spread. Okay, cancer resistance mean, castration resistant mean it not respond to medication, so it's surgery or surgical. Whatever the response, it's remain enlargement. Prostate cancer, all you know is the prostate, and it become enlarged, and in this picture. Okay. You know it's the bladder and urethra, and this is prostate. When it becomes enlargement, it will make a pressure in the urethra, so it makes it so difficult for urination. Especially for men, it will suffer from annoying feeling. This first fact about prostate cancer is prostate cancer is an important part of male reproductive system. Prostate cancer most common in men, sure. Treatable if diagnosed. So whenever you feel any problem in your relation, feeling anything, you should seek the doctor to see whatever problem, prostate cancer, infection with any microbe. And you will see the video.
Prostate cancer. It's treatable, right? So what's the big deal? About 30,000 lives could be lost this year. That's the big deal. And that's just in the US. But let's back up a little bit. For every 6 men in the US, one of them is going to develop prostate cancer at some point in their lives. When a man is diagnosed with prostate cancer, there's no way of knowing right away how serious the disease could become. And this year in the US alone, it's estimated that about 240,000 new cases of prostate cancer will be diagnosed. What does the number 240,000 even look like? It's huge. The Superdome in Louisiana can seat about 70,000 people. 240,000 is more than 3 Superdomes filled with our fathers, sons, brothers, and uncles who will find out they have newly diagnosed prostate cancer this year. The thing is, many men with prostate cancer really don't feel comfortable talking about it. And what about the thousands of men who die every year from prostate cancer? Let's put that into perspective. People always say flying is a pretty safe way to travel, especially if you compare it to driving. According to the most recent statistics, the number of men who are estimated to die from prostate cancer in the US is nearly the same as the number of people who die in a year in driving accidents. If cancers were in a competition, prostate cancer would win silver every year, as it's the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths among men. Here's some good news though. If you take 10 men diagnosed with prostate cancer, 7 of them will have prostate cancer that doesn't come back after initial treatment. Unfortunately for the other 3 men, the cancer will come back and can be life-threatening. These 3 men are our fathers, our brothers, and our sons. So how can we help them? By spreading the word to be proactive and knowing the importance of talking to a doctor to determine if screening is right for them. PSA, or prostate-specific antigen, may be measured along with other clinical tests. PSA is a blood test and used as a reference marker for prostate cancer. The PSA result is individualized and changes may be clinically important. When that number starts rising or symptoms appear, these men and the people taking care of them need to talk to their doctor about their options. Ongoing research is leading to new treatment options, especially in advanced disease. Who should be talking about this? Everyone. Tell your dad, your brother, and your uncle. and encourage them to be proactive in talking to their doctor about prostate cancer. The word is spreading and has already made a difference. The more people you talk to about prostate cancer, the more men we might be able to help. Do your part to help thousands and share this video with friends and loved ones.
Okay, now it's time to know how the abdominal action. First, I will explain about the action normally of androgen. Did you guys know the androgen is the sex hormone of men, right? Yes, that is true. Okay. And the androgen will bind the androgen receptor, and then this is complex, and then this complex will translocate into the nucleus, and they bind the DNA. And the transcription of gene androgen receptor will happen, and so we get a lot of androgen receptor. Okay, let me introduce you. This is the prostate cancer cell because he is the only one man in the group. And this is the androgen receptor. And this is the androgen. And the last, this is Arida. Arida is the brand name of the aprodomine. Okay. Now I will explain it. The androgen receptor that we got it before, it will express on the prostate cancer cell. Okay, this is expressed. Okay. And the androgen that is secreted by the pituitary gland will bind the androgen receptor. It's fine. And then it shows the result of the androgen action. Okay. And the androgen is stimulated. The prostate cancer cell to grow up and proliferate. And then, okay. Okay, it's finished.
Where's my baby?
So, we have a lot of the new prostate cancer cell. Okay, yeah, you know.
Hey, now we can kill the patient.
The new prostate cancer cell will cause the symptom progression worsen, and if you don't treat it, you will die and you will suffer from and die from this disease. Okay, but we discovered the Arida. Arida is a pyridomide. Pyridomide. What do you know? What do you know? It is aprodomine is an androgen antagonist. Is an androgen receptor antagonist, and it has more efficacy to selectively bind the ligand binding domain of androgen receptor than the androgen. So they will competitively bind the androgen receptor. Oh.
No, you go away. I'm stronger than you.
I want you, Anderson. I want you.
So that is it. Because of the aprodomine bind the androgen receptor, and the androgen can't bind the androgen receptor, right? And it can stimulate the prostate cancer cell to grow up and proliferate. And then
My babies. My baby.
the patient will recover and become a healthy person again. And that's all the mechanism of action of apalutamide. So I hope you understand about this mechanism. Thank you.
So I will continue with the indication of ARIDA. So ARIDA is a type of androgen receptor inhibitor which contains the active ingredients of apalutamide. It has been used to treat the patients with non-metastatic castration-resistant prostate cancer. So this drug has been used to treat the prostate cancer that has not been spread to other parts of the body and no longer respond to any medical or surgical treatment that lowers the testosterone.
So now I'm going to explain to you about the adverse reaction of apalutamide. So those are the common adverse reaction. The first one is seizure, and then hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is actually the condition when your levels of blood sugar drop below normal, and then it can also cause anemia. You know anemia, right? It's lack of healthy red blood cells or hemoglobin, and then it can also cause fatigue, the feeling of tired all over the time, and then hypertriglyceridemia. Okay, it can happen. It can happen when the level of triglycerides on your body is high, and then it can also cause hypertension. And then crash is actually discolorization on your skin, and then nausea, diarrhea, lose weight, which is good for the guy. I mean, for the fatty ones. But losing weight too fast and too much can cause any other bad side effects, such as nutrient deficiency and lower metabolism. And then it can also cause arthritis. When you feel so much pain on your joint, and then it can also cause fall, hot flash, oversweating, loss of appetite, bone fracture, and peripheral edema. So now we are going to dosage and administration. So the best dose for apalutamide is actually 240 milligrams, administration only once daily. But usually, apalutamide is provided in 60 milligrams tablets. So you should take 4 tablets once daily. So as a pharmacist as well, you can instruct your patient to swallow the tablet whole. Don't break it, the tablet, and then it can be taken with or without food. And the patient who is receiving a gonadotropin releasing hormone analog during this treatment have to maintain it, because gonadotropin releasing hormone and apalutamide have the synergy effect. So both of them can inhibit the androgen, the production of androgen, which is androgen is the initiator of prostate cancer cell proliferation. And then the result, it's going to be better if the patient have done bilateral osteotomy. Do you know bilateral osteotomy? That's the process of removing, testicles. Testicles is actually the organ that can produce androgen.
Speaking of availability, for information, Adara is the first approved drug for non-metastatic castration-resistant prostate cancer, and it's only available in the US. And it was approved on February 14, 2018, which is like 6 months ago. It is still new, and there are a few conditions that you should monitor. For example, the prolongation in the time to prostate-specific antigen progression and the time to symptomatic disease progression, which may indicate the efficacy of this drug. And also, we should focus on those who experience fracture and fall risk. These patients should be monitored and evaluated during the therapy. And Adriana is strictly contraindicated for female, especially pregnant women, as it can cause fetal harm and also potential loss of pregnancy.
Next, we will talk about the pharmacokinetic of the apalutamide. When you take the drug orally, that means the drug has the oral bioavailability is 100%, and the mean peak level occurs 2 hours, which are like 1 to 5 hours. The peak concentration when you taking dose 160 milligram per liter, at the steady state, the peak concentration is 6.0 milligram per milliliter, and the mean volume of distribution is 276 liters, and the steady state level are achieved following 4 weeks of anesthesia. And the plasma protein binding of apalutamide is 96%, and the major metabolite enzyme methyl of apalutamide is protein binding 95%. And the apalutamide is metabolized in the liver by CYP2C8 and 3A4. The mean elimination half-life at steady state is 3 to 4 days. And the last, the apalutamide 65% is excreted in the urine and 24% is excreted in the feces. Now let's move to see the drug and food interaction. Following what I mentioned it before, the apalutamide is metabolized in the liver by CYP2C8 and 3A4, and the apalutamide is also the strong inducer of CYP3A4 and CYP2C19, and it is also the weak inducer of CYP2C9 and PGP and BCRP and OATP1B1. So carefully concomitant use the apalutamide with the medicine that is substrate of CYP3A4 to C9 to C19, PGP, BCRP, and OATP1B1, such as I use I'm sorry. Okay, such as you take the apalutamide with fexofenadine. Apalutamide will decrease the AUC of fexofenadine because fexofenadine is PGP substrate, and the action of PGP will more action. Okay. And so the PGP affect the drug. The PGP affect the fexofenadine, and the fexofenadine concentration in blood is decreased. Okay.
For the clinical trial, the apalutamide was approved by the FDA after one trial of phase 1, 15 trial of phase 2, and 1 trial of phase 3. So for the phase 3 clinical trials, this clinical trials was approved by the FDA. In the phase 3 was named as Spartan, was done by the Smith in February 2018. So this study was conducted to evaluate the efficacy and the safety of the apalutamide in adult men with a high risk of non-metastatic castration-resistant prostate cancer. So this study was multi-centered, randomized, placebo-controlled, and also double-blind that involved 1,207 patients who have a high risk of non-metastatic cancer, who received either the Erlida orally with a dose of 240 milligrams once daily, or with a placebo once daily. So the number of patients who received the Erlida is 106, while 401 patients received the placebo. So the inclusion of these clinical studies it shows that the patients involved in the clinical studies must be more than 18 years, the PSA less than 10 months, and have a healthy organ function. While for the exclusion, the patients who have a history of seizure, the unstable angina, hypertension, myocardial infarction, and congestive heart failure will be excluded from these studies. So for the outcomes, in the primary, it shows that there is a changes in the percentage of MFS, which stands for metastasis-free survival. While in the secondary, it shows that there is a changes in the percentage of TTM, which is time to metastasis, and PFS, which is progression-free survival. Well, in the results, it shows that the patients who receive the ARIDA, there is a decrease in the percentage of MFS, which is 33%. In the TTM is 22%, and PFS is 25%. While in the patient who received the placebo, it shows that there is increase in the percentage of MFS, which is 48. The TTM is 48, and also PFS is 51%.
So now we are going to clinical trial phase 2. We put clinical trial phase 2 as the professor suggested because we can only find one clinical trial phase 3. So clinical trial phase 2 did on 2016. It's a randomized and multi-center study. The objective of the study is actually to evaluate safety and efficacy of apalutamide in patients with high risk NMCRPC. NMCRPC means non-metastatic castrate-resistant prostate cancer. The patient will be given with 240 milligrams apalutamide each day for 12 weeks. There are 97 patients with prostate cancer, and it's divided into 3 groups. NMCRPC 51, and then 25 aberration SFF CRPC, and then 21 MCRPC post-aberration SFF.
The inclusion criteria for this clinical trial is those who are above 18 years old and those who maintain level of testosterone of 50 nanogram per deciliter within 4 weeks and ECOG performance status of 0 to 1, and also life expectancy of 3 months, QT interval of 450 milliseconds, and most importantly, adequate cardiac, renal, hepatic, and bone marrow function. And those who are included from this trial are those who are treated with enzalutamide and AA and ketoconazole, and those who have history of seizure.
Okay, so for the outcome, the primary outcomes, we want to monitor the percent change in PSA. PSA is prostate-specific antigen to baseline at 12 weeks. And then the secondary one, we want to monitor percent change in TTPP. TTPP means time to PSA progression, and MFS. MFS stands for metastasis-free survival. And then we get the result. The Gleason score is 7. And then the median PSA is 10.7 nanogram per milliliter, and then PSA GT, PSA double time, is 10 months, and overall 89% of patients had 50% PSA decline at 12 weeks. So it means good. It's better than before they taking apalutamide as the treatment.
So as a conclusion for us, you should remember that we are a clinical pharmacist or a pharmacist. So we are a drug specialist. We know everything about the drug. When the patient comes to the pharmacy or in a hospital, we should ask him about all drugs that he take, OTC drug, over-the-counter drugs, nutrition, vitamins, everything he take. Also nutrition, because some patients take green leaves. This also affects cytochrome 3 or 4. We should know this. Our drug causes seizure. So when a patient came to us, we should ask him if you have a problem with seizure, if disease causes seizures, trauma in brain, something like this. Any disease causes seizures because our drug causes seizures. High blood pressure. Also, when a patient came or in a hospital, as a clinical pharmacist, we should see the blood pressure for the patient. If it's so high, I should ask him to replace the drug or decrease the dose or frequency. Or if in the pharmacy, I should tell the patient, you should go to the doctor and ask him that the pharmacist told me that the drug is caused high blood pressure. So can you change it? Or if it's obligatory, we will take risk-benefit ratio. Thank you for listening for us, and if any questions, sure.
Come on, guys, ask some question.
So in the video, it says that 3 out of 10 patients who got treatment got the cancer back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because cancer is highly proliferated and metastasis, and no drug up till now can cure 100% cancer. If one cancer cell remains, it will divide and be 100, and 100 becomes 1,000. Yeah.
What does it mean by ECG status 0.1? It was mentioned.
ECOG is Eastern Oncology, it's an Eastern Cooperative Oncology Group.
Okay, thank you. So for the first question is, I think the major side effect for the men is the men will be feminine because this drug. So is there any solution for the problem?
Problem for what, sorry?
The men will be feminine because the drug. Actually,
Familial?
feminine.
Become girl.
Become girl?
Have feminine traits.
Yeah.
It didn't decrease the level of androgen. He blocks the level of, he blocks the action of the androgen, not the androgen. He blocks the action of androgen on androgen receptors, but androgen is circulating like nature. It blocks the action, not the production.
Because what I know about the cancer drug of the prostate is like the cancer prostate is like the side effect is make the man is like.
I got it. Okay, other classes of drug inhibit the production of androgen from pituitary. This is another class of drug like androgen receptor antagonist, not inhibit the senses of the hormone. The senses is the same, but he can't make his action on the receptor. But other characters for the man is still normal because it didn't block it. It blocked it, especially some receptors on the prostate. You got it?
So for the second, for the contraindication, that's you guys mentioned it's not cannot for the pregnant woman. So I think the drug is just only for the men.
Yes.
Okay,
Let's say the female doesn't know that this drug shouldn't be taken. So what if she takes? She gets the side effects, right? So the reason why we are informing you earlier, do not take the drug, especially females. Okay?
And that is actually a good question because sometimes drugs, remember, women or men who have sickness, they still want to have a good sex. So if the man can have the X category, it affect the woman. Does that make sense? There's a drug, another for benign prostatic hyperplasia, 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. Okay? So why is that I also put pregnancy category X? Because if the man pharmacist counting the pill and even the powder can affect his sperm, so that can kind of killing the pregnancy category. Does that make sense? Yeah. So just because the drug is for male, just think about it affect the wife of that person.
Any other questions?
Is those adjustments needed in the insurance?
Yes, those adjustments, but we didn't mention it because we look at normal patients, you know. But those adjustments made by clinical pharmacists in a hospital, so we didn't mention it.
Can I see the monitoring slide? Why we must evaluate the patient for fracture and calories? What correlation about the prostate cancer to the fracture and calories?
For information, during the phase 3 studies part 10, they observed around 12 to 16% fractures and falls. So they would like to be aware of these things so that they are thinking it might be one of the side effects of the drug.
I want to add on. Based on the clinical trials, it shows that the patients who take the drugs will have a weak bone and muscles. So you will have a fracture of calories.
Sorry, but is it done first?
I still don't understand the pathogenesis of this. I still don't really understand the pathogenesis of
Pathogenesis?
Yeah, because you said that it's castration resistant, but then it's not metastasis. So let's say in a patient with such cancer, you actually do castration, like will it actually stay on the body or will it actually spread?
Not to spread, not metastatic.
Okay, so how does it?
This kind of disease, I don't know the mechanism, how it doesn't metastasis, but this is the disease. Some kind of cancer is invasive and can go to the bloodstream and circulate in the body. Some cancers are weakened, so they can't enter the bloodstream, you know? So it can't metastasis all over the body.
What does it mean by castration resistant?
Can respond to other medications.
Yeah, and surgical.
And surgery.
Another question will be like, you mentioned about losing weight as like one of the side effects. Do you know which mass specifically you lose weight? Because if I'm not wrong, like in cases like, when you're working out, losing fat, that's a great thing. But if you're having anorexia, for example, you'd be losing muscle, and that would be bad because it's your body. So do you know which part of the body? Which part of the body is broken down when you mentioned you're losing weight?
Part of the body broken?
Which part of the body?
Which part of the body?
Because it is
All over the body, all over the body. Not specific part of the body is weight.
Yeah, is it losing fat or is it
Losing fat.
So it's not
Losing fat and muscle. So when you lose muscle, you will fall. You lose muscles. Mass of the muscle. And fat only. But muscle is a very big problem because this is a cause for falls. You know, you can't walk right and you can run right, because your muscle becomes smaller. This is a very big problem of the drug. Not the fact when you become fit, it's not a problem, but the main effect from the muscle, not from the heart.
So you both lose muscle mass and fat mass, but it's made the problem is to lose the muscle mass.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so I think I have two questions.
The first one is if the person overdose, what is the antidote? Are there any antidotes for if you overdose this drug? And the second one is I think there is something about rashes in the adverse reaction. So what are the common type of rashes that the person taking this drug can have?
The first question for antidote is a new drug. This is a new drug. So no research made for the antidote. And we researched about it and we didn't find a specific antidote. Okay? Looking at the question what?
The second question is about the rash. So the common symptom, the common rash that really occur when taking the Arida is macular rash, which usually looks like red bumps on a flat skin, and usually sometimes itchy and can be last from 2 days to 3 weeks according to the causes.
I want to ask Facebook multiplier. For the results, state that exception score is 7. I'm not certain about it. Can you explain how it is ranking the score?
Okay, Gleason score is actually the grading system they use to determine the aggressiveness level of prostate cancer cells. So when the result of Gleason score is 7, it means that it's intermediate risk for the aggressive cancer cell. That's all.
So what is the highest? 10? So 10 is worse. Any other question? Alright, guys, let's take a break for until 3 o'clock. Then we will start the quiz, okay?